What's going on Facebook? What's going on YouTube? Darian Thomas here. Listen up, you may learn something today, and I'm going to teach you about pre-approval letters, the importance of them, what they kind of are. I'll go into the very basics of it. Quite often you'll hear people talk about a pre-approval letter, and usually what that is, it's a letter that you get from a lender or a bank. Let's just say you want to go and buy a property, and you say, hey, I'm thinking about purchasing a property. I heard I need a pre-approval letter. I have no idea what that is. So you go to a lender, you go to a bank, usually pull your financials, meaning they usually pull your tax returns. They'll usually look at your debt to income ratio. That's a huge one. They'll pull your credit. They'll look at what you make. Obviously your spending patterns, your spending habits, different things like that. And then you'll issue you a pre-approval letter, which essentially gives you an idea of what you're approved up to. Let's just say if you get a pre-approval letter for $150,000, that's usually what you're approved up to in order to finance for that house. So anything over, let's just say 175, 200, your chances of getting approved for that loan aren't very good at all. So just kind of the very basics of it, but we can kind of go into a little bit, I kind of touched on a little bit of these, but kind of go into a little bit of pre-approval letter. How much? Once again, there's a lot of different ratios on why you got approved for how much, but for the most part, they're going to look at your debt to income. That usually gives you a better idea. When I'm saying about debt to income, it's you can be making $100,000 a year, but if your spending habits are very high, if you like to spend your money, you're probably not going to get pre-approved for a lot, just for the simple fact that your purchasing power, your debts are very high, and the money that you bring in isn't, offsetting that much. So that's usually what affects, how much. Obviously, credit score is huge. Credit score plays a factor into, when we get into the FHA and conventional, I'll kind of talk a little bit about that. But for the most part, how much will be definitely your debt to income ratio is going to be a huge one. Let's get into FHA, or conventional. Now, these are two different types of loans you can get into, an FHA loan or a conventional loan. I'm not going to really go too much in depth with that. Once again, I'm a real estate agent. I'm not a loan officer, so I get with the loan officer. They'll kind of explain this a little bit more, but I always kind of explain it like this. FHA is essentially to get into a FHA is 3.5% down, right? Usually to qualify for FHA loan isn't as difficult as it is to qualify a conventional loan. Usually credit score requirements, aren't as stringent as a conventional. Keep in mind, conventional loans, there are some lenders and people out there who are offering 3% conventional down, but I just want to let you know that FHA, usually the homes are move-in ready. There can't really be much, wrong with the home. But with a conventional loan, you may get a home where, it does need a little rehab, and it can go with a conventional loan. FHA loan, really, essentially, you have to almost be a move-in ready house. There really can't be anything wrong with it. The FHA appraiser is going to come in there and just make sure certain things that they're looking for, hand railings, chip paint, that stuff is there. So that's, I would say, the big difference between the FHA or conventional, especially when you're talking about a pre-approval letter. Not all homes essentially are, FHA approved. Not all homes, technically not all homes are going to be conventional, but you're going to see a lot more homes that are going to be conventional approved versus the FHA approved. Obviously you can, pay for a house, with cash, but conventional, usually sometimes when you see those houses that need to be quote unquote fixer-uppers that a lot of people are looking for, you usually see the only two things out there, cash or conventional, to purchase those homes. And then your pre-qualifies, I should say pre-qualified, and when you get essentially pre-qualified, it's not as much information, as a pre-approval letter. That may just be a conversation over the phone with a lender. When you call somebody and say, hey, I wanted to get some more information, they may pull some, okay, let me pre-qualify you really quick, and how much do you make, what's your salary, what are your debts, what are your credit card debts, this and that. So that's essentially when you get pre-qualified, it's pretty basic, nothing too crazy. And usually what you want to do is set up a consultation. That's really important too when you're going before you get pre-approved. With that consultation, that's kind of when you can ask a lot of the questions. And usually the lender's obviously asking questions. I always tell people, listen, ask questions. Ask them why they need this or why they need that, and different things like that. It's really important just so you understand kind of what you're doing, what you're getting into, so you can fully understand, the whole entire process of, why somebody needs your tax returns, or, why, somebody may need to see bank statements, or, this and that. So definitely make sure you kind of ask a lot of questions, and more importantly, set up a consultation. There are some places out there, who do 15-minute, quick turnaround things and whatnot, but, you want to make sure that you fully understand the situation, and you fully understand, kind of why you're giving all that information. And then now with the technology that we have, a lot of people are, a lot of places can't offer a fully underwritten pre-approval letter. So essentially, what that kind of means, it's almost like cash. What I mean by that is a fully underwritten pre-approval letter is essentially they're qualifying you almost like you're ready to purchase the house. Now understand what I'm saying is usually when you get pre-approval letter, it's usually a soft pull, and then after, let's say the 30 or 40 days, whatever you're in contract, usually a couple days before, they're actually going to fund the loan. They'll fully underwrite the loan, saying, okay, this person is approved for this amount. Let's fund the loan and let's give them money, and they're able to purchase this house. So what some people are doing now is they're fully underwriting the loan before we actually even start find the home, which is nice because a lot of things, the close dates are a lot quicker. Usually around 35 to 40 days. Sometimes these can be done in 14 to 20 days, which is huge. It kind of cuts everything in half, which is nice for realtors and just kind of nice for everybody. And plus, I always tell people this: if you can close early, and we can negotiate the days after you take keys versus having to wait on a loan to get funded and waiting on papers, different things like that. So hopefully this was helpful. Pre-approval letters, definitely get with a lender, get with somebody who and potentially trust, but just do a Q&A if you're always kind of had some questions about, hey, how does this work and this and that. Definitely just Q&A somebody. I'm not a lender, so I can't technically answer a lot of these questions. I can kind of give you a brief overview of what a pre-approval letter is, but for the most part, if you are looking to get pre-approved, feel free to reach out to me. I have definitely a bunch of resources I can relay to you, and I may be able to answer some questions, but I can't answer all the questions. Once again, I'm just a real estate agent. But Darian Thomas, listen up, you may learn something today, and thanks for watching. Peace.